All right, our last learning target here for water cycle is looking at how do we humans have an impact on the earth and the water cycle. So I've got, again, some must-use clue words to make sure that you include. Hopefully these two came to mind right away when you were reading this question, because we've talked about how runoff and infiltration is changing on the Earth's surface because of the amount of impervious surfaces that we're including on Earth. So again, because our learning targets are putting things together from our notes, feel free to pull up your notes, especially this diagram here. I think I have a completed one. Nope, but I started it here. So we want to talk about what we saw in these pictures, specifically thinking about, what happens from this point of natural compared to human impact with the most impervious surfaces. So kind of some guiding questions for you to maybe think about would be, how do humans impact? Like specifically, what are we doing? Like what is that change that we're making? So again, what's different from picture 1 to picture 2? And then, thinking about, well, why do we have to consider that in the first place? Why is that a concern, right? And that's really what we talked about in class when we talked about the impact and how we can kind of prevent it. So why is that a concern? Why do we see these changes as a little bit of a threat or a negative to the water cycle and to the planet? And the third thing we can think about here is specifically what's the impact then to water quality? And maybe you'll include that part up here with the concern, but I just want to make sure that you get it in there. How is the water quality changing? And, why? How? What's it doing? Feel free to add or draw any pictures in there, maybe to supplement your information. But for the most part, this is just going to be a short little paragraph in here. Again, that includes all the key words. So think about what's changing from natural to a human environment with all these impervious surfaces. What are the impervious surfaces? List them out. And then why do we have to be worried about building more impervious surfaces or adding more? What's the negative that comes with it in terms of our runoff? Right? And then finally, well, what does that do specifically to water quality if you didn't include it up here?